Welcome to this Wet Fish Films production. Today we are diving on Cregg y Jaghee, a reef on the bottom of the Isle of Man, with the Isle of Man diving charters and my buddy Les Roos. The water is clear and warm at 15 degrees centigrade. The reef is a boulder slope down to a sandy bottom. The boulders are from 5 to 5,000 tons. In the last ice age this would have been land and a cliff several hundred metres high, possibly over a wooded plain, going all the way to Ireland and England in either direction. We head towards the interface between the boulder slope and now the sandy bottom. There is a great deal of life in these clean waters. You can see down a good 10 metres and more, to the sand and upwards to the surface at the same time. On these dives in the Isle of Man, every dive we are greeted with a vast number of cuckoo wrasse, both male and females. They abound on the reef, colourful and gregarious. They always pop along for a visit, hoping you have disturbed something they'd like to eat, a free meal for themselves. Here, if you look just below me on the rock, the camera is recording a very large length. I turn to attract Leslie's attention. As I do, it sneaks off into a crack. I can't believe it. The camera keeps recording it, but I've no idea where it's gone. In this wider view, you just don't see the profusion of life and its colour. Shortly, I will start recording with my GoPro and lights, in close-up. There is literally life everywhere, on every surface and every type of habitat you can think of. I now prepare my GoPro and lights for the close-up action. Whenever another filmmaker stops and videos, there is always something to see. There are no exceptions. Here, there is a sunstar, bright and vibrant, as always. It will be looking for food, as you'd expect, as all creatures do. Common sea urchin feeding in the current. All its tentacles are out, trying to capture passing plankton and small items. They then pass this from tentacle to tentacle to its mouth parts on the base of the urchin. You can see the plankton swirling around in the water around us. This is a mark of the cleanliness and clarity of the water around the Isle of Man. I am truly impressed. A common feature of the northern UK and diving around the world at these latitudes are dead men's fingers. Feeding again in the passing time, a typical soft coral for those who don't think we have such things in UK waters. As you can see in the wider landscape, they are literally everywhere. can see in the close-up of the dead man's fingers. You can see all the trumpet-like appendages. They are all waiting for food, and as soon as something touches it, the trumpets close, and this starts the process of digestion. It is breaking its food down into nutrients for growth and reproduction. Bright orange microconia. Again, if you're not a diver, you never expect to see something as bright and colourful as this. If you look close, you will also see a lamplight anemone. And if this is not enough, here is a small but mature starfish with the sumptuous name of Bloody Henry, a small relative compared to other starfish. You may notice the surrounding rock is covered in weed and other organisms, an indication why life is so good in the Isle of Man. Now shallower, I need to dump air from my suit to ensure I don't have an uncontrolled ascent and a decompression incident. Control at all times is critical in diving. I use a combination of breathing out coupled with expelling air from my suit, and I am back to neutral buoyancy again. As you can see on this reef, life is prolific. Where the reef and the tide come together, food is brought directly to a wide variety of sponges and soft corals, attracting incrustation like crabs and lobsters, and inevitably a wider spectrum of life, such as fish, giving credence to my theory that structure is critical to variety. You can see the food supply in the current as it passes my lights. Hence all the sponges feeding. Above the reef edge you can see the rock surfaces and the habitat that is here. Various seaweeds showing again there is a place for variety, attracting in life that prefers this type of habitat. Away from the reef and on the open rock bottom is a spiny starfish, a very large species, and probably old as it lives life at a slow pace. With almost no predators, it lives on the open bottom. This specimen is about 60 centimetres across. Almost inevitably, a male cuckoo wrasse comes to investigate and possibly eat what I may have disturbed. I can only surmise that fish must have a different colour vision than us at this depth. Without the lights, the fish looks grey. My personal philosophy in diving is never to rush. Just enjoy the show that life has to offer. We are lucky to have the privilege to witness this firsthand. Here we encounter sugar camp, a staple of the underwater landscape on top of the rocks above 20 metres in the UK. Again, it offers a new habitat to the specialists who live here, while the kelp captures a great deal of CO2 from the atmosphere. Often the creators of habitat, the sea toad, or a great spider crab, the cave dweller, it feels safe, which while we're here, it won't. It ambles along and tries hard to move away, a favourite food of octopus. We're coming towards the end of our dive, and we hope you agree that Cregg y Jaghee is a spectacular dive, one I'll never forget. It's time to deploy our DSMB to release it, marking the spot where we're diving, and at the same time prepare for our safety stops, which release excess nitrogen, whilst at the same time the boat being able to see our marker buoy on the surface, and make preparations for our safe exit from the sea. As we surface, we are surrounded by Lyon's jellyfish. And yes, these are the ones that sting. Those white stinging tentacles are packed with stingers. And yes, again, I was stung. Right across both of my hands and across my top neck. It's not unusual, but fortunately, I don't react. And it's no more than itchy a little later. However, on surfacing, I apply some vinegar, which neutralises the sting in a few minutes. Always worth carrying a few sachets of vinegar with your gear. Thanks to the Isle of Man diving charters, Reading Bezak, my buddy Les Roos, music by Dan Hennig, and the Grey Room, Destiny in Time. I am Tony Howells, filmmaker. This was a Wetfish Films production, and I hope you've enjoyed watching as much as we did diving, and I hope to see you again soon. Please subscribe if you'd like to. If not, that's okay too. Bye for now.